I'm Sarah, I'm from ADIAV. We primarily work with artists and therefore in galleries a lot of the time. We work with the Serpentine Gallery quite a lot, and about 5 years ago we discussed a very similar project, an edge blended wraparound on the perimeter walls, but that didn't happen. So when the gallery manager got the idea from the artist that she wanted to kind of fill all the gallery walls with projections, he called us up and said, you know that thing, can we do that again? The artist had to fill the walls from floor to ceiling, and with the space is only about 4 metres wide, so we haven't got very much throw distance at all. We haven't got any extra ceiling height, so we needed to be able to get the projectors within the image height and be obviously ultra short throw. There was only one choice. Nobody else makes a lens like this other than Epson. So other brands make an ultra short throw lens, but they all have an enormous offset, and that was just never going to work because there's nowhere for me to get the projectors out of the way. There's 2 extra walls in the gallery that the artist wanted to fill with projections as well. So at one point we needed about 17 projectors in total to be able to cover the entire walls, but budget kind of kicked in and meant that we kind of had to slightly scale it down. The back wall is slightly longer than the 2 side walls, so I needed to kind of make my images slightly bigger to still maintain the edge blend. But yeah, we managed to do it with four projectors on each wall, which meant I could use 3 media players, Datatom media players, all synced together, so it was quite straightforward in the end. The sound is actually a separate soundtrack, and we're using some Fon 8005s for the audio. The most stressful bit was about 2 weeks before we were going to be coming on site. We had about 2 weeks to install the whole thing. So a month before the show opened, the artist tried to output her films. And obviously the films are very, very long. It's about 11 HD films wide. And it took her a week to output 5 seconds of film. So she then calculated that to make a minute it was going to take 75 days, and she wanted to make the film about 10 minutes long. So at this point we had to, start calling around and trying to find a render farm. But we did, and they were great, and the films all came down with a few days to spare. We had a little bit of content to kind of play with in the initial setup, but it took us a while to get all the projectors in exactly the right place and get all the rigging up. So yeah, it was slightly cut fine in the end, but it was, we got there. A lot of the time we have to be more creative and produce things at a much kind of smaller scale, but it's great to be able to have a budget big enough and a project at this scale to really push the technology. Everyone's loved it. Everyone's kind of still mesmerised by the technology, and you can stand so close to the projection before you start clipping with your heads and making any shadows on it. It's brilliant.